Good evening, everyone. Give everyone a chance to get in here before we get started. Guessing the waiting room is empty, Natalie. All right, so we gotta get started. So thanks for joining us tonight. We have Natalie from the Rec on the line. We also have Adrian, who is our board president. I'm Nick Davis, the new head coach. So it's great to see everyone. Um, we want to make sure you guys keep your selves muted. There'll be time for questions at the end. And if you have questions as we go, you can go ahead and put them in the chat and we can answer as we go. So get this going. All right. So our plan today is just to review the upcoming season, let you know who the key contacts are for this season. A lot of this will be same information for our returning families and new information for our new families. So use the chat feature for questions. We're going to do some introductions. I just did that, I think. So we describe our program, talk about team communications, volunteer opportunities, sponsorship opportunities, and time for question and answer. So our program. This is on everything we have. This is on our website and on the registration page. But we participate in the suburban swim league, and the other teams we swim against are Upper Arlington Swim and Racket, Hilliard, and Grandview, comprised of 4 teams. The upcoming season, this says operate May 27th, but it's actually going to officially start June 2nd, which I'll talk about later. The Marlins team is open on a space available basis. We may get into a waitlist situation, which we will deal with kind of as registration gets going. Don't be too shocked if you end up on the wait list. We'll communicate with you. To be honest, my daughter was on the wait list for 3 years. um, we just kind of have some guardrails in place to make sure we're not overextending ourselves. So safety is our top priority. So while we will welcome like anybody and everyone who wants to join, if we feel that a swimmer doesn't have the ability to kind of participate safely, coaches will talk to you about your swimmers. I'm a teacher, it's a long day. Your swimmers be on the team continuing. One thing we like for our swimmers that are ages 5 to 10 is be able to do is swim at 25 yards. This is the distance that they'll be participating in swim meets. Our 11 to 14-year-olds, they'll participate in a 50-yard events, and 15, 18-year-olds, while I don't participate in many 100-yard events for practices, that will be helpful. And if you're unsure, those first few practices will kind of test everybody's ability and see where everyone is. So if you're kind of on the fence, bring them and we can see. We plan to have quite a few junior coaches helping out. So we want to really work on swim development, even those younger swimmers. So our team is divided into 2 kind of divisions. We have our varsity division, our older swimmers, and the junior varsity, our younger swimmers. Practices will be based upon age groupings. New this year is kind of a new swim schedule. The rec has worked with us to meet some of my goals as a new coach for the team. One of those goals is having our 6-unders and 7-8-year-olds practicing daily. Previously, 6-unders only practice 2 days a week, and 7-8-year-olds practice 3 days a week. I think it's with being such a short season, having our swimmers being in the water daily, practicing skills is really important. With this change, that practice is shortened a little bit for those age groups. Instead of an hour, our 6 and unders and 7 8 year olds will be practicing for 45 minutes, which I think is age and developmentally appropriate, um, versus the hour. Our junior varsity focus is on legal stroke technique. We'll be doing mini drills with these age groups. Our 6 unders will practice this kind of goes backwards to earlier. Will be our last group from 9 a.m. to 9:45. Our 7 8 year olds will practice from 8:15 to 9, and our 9 10 year olds will practice 8 to 9. They still have that hour, and they're the only group that hasn't changed a time. If you have a 9 10 year old swimmer who has the ability to kind of swim up, we'll kind of work with you, especially if they have they're a club swimmer, a year-round swimmer, to practice with the older swimmers, where they will probably fit in a little bit more skill wise. So we'll kind of work on that as a case by case basis. Our varsity group will practice an hour as well. That's a step 11 to 12 age group, the 13 14 age group, and the 15 18 age group. We were able to push back the start time 15 minutes. Everyone gets to sleep in a little bit. I know showing at the pool in the 6 o'clock hour is kind of a deterrent. So we're gonna work on kind of pushing that back. Even just 15 minutes, hopefully it sparks some people wanting to not bow out because of the early time. Here we're gonna focus on competitive stroke technique as well as working on endurance. Hopefully, and with these, kind of like a question I would have if I was a parent. If your swimmer is in the Jeffrey camps, with these times, they still will be able to be picked up by the camp and kind of travel back and forth, even with these new times. We worked with Natalie to make sure that happens.
Yeah, and Nick, real quick, just a reminder, if your child is in summer camp, it is helpful if you communicate that to your camp director, just so they're aware. We also do it from the back end, but it's helpful when it comes to the parent and from our internal communications as well.
Yeah, and usually when you drop off, there will be a camp person there picking up the previous group or dropping off. My swimmers utilized it, and I always was like, the first day of the week, the Monday, I was like, "Hey, are they on your list?" "Yep." "Okay." Just to make sure, and they always were. But it's kind of my fear that I'm expecting to be picked up and they're not. Moving on here. So our swim meets. We will have a sign up system like last year on our team website. You will need to sign in and register your swimmer prior to each meet. Each swimmer can swim up to 3 individual events and 2 relays. That's new this year. We got kind of the league to allow us to have an additional event for some of our younger swimmers that were previously able to only swim 2. We'll be able to get them an extra event this year. The age of your swimmer that you're registering them is based on their age June 1st. So if they turn 11 on June 2nd, they'll still get to participate as a 10-year-old throughout the whole season. The coaches will determine event assignments for each meet. There'll be a spot for comments if you want to be like, "Hey, they really want to try breaststroke this meet." Put that in there. We'll take that in consideration. But just let you know that our coaches have the ultimate say in what events swimmers are swimming. Our championship meet, which will take place July 9th at the Upper Arlington High School. In order to your swimmer to be eligible to swim in this meet, they'll have to have swum in 2 meets this season. They'll get to swim 2 individual events at champs, and they have to have a legal time. So if they want to swim butterfly at champs, but they never swam butterfly during the season, or a legal time, then they won't be able to swim that at champs. Our relays for both dual meets, and well, not I guess not to say both dual meets, but for champs especially, are going to be taken by with the top times. The reason I say not the dual meets, because we may rotate people in if they haven't had a chance to swim. Relays, because we want to make sure everyone's kind of having a fun season here. Here are some key dates to the season, and Natalie, this is the part where registration.
Yeah. So this is it might even be the third year we've done this. I can't remember for sure. But we now, anyone that was registered last year will receive an email from me on this Friday, and there'll be a week window for returner families to register. That includes siblings. So if you have a younger sibling that did not swim last year, you can register them as well. It as Nick said, it may be possible that you potentially get waitlisted, because we do have to have the maximums on there. But if that happens, we will keep an eye on that. And returners, from how we did it last year, all the returners got in, but we have to set that max just to make sure that's set from the beginning, and see where we are with those numbers. But that will be a link, and some of you may have experienced these kind of emails from us before, where you get the email, you log into your account, and inside the email, there'll be a link after you log in that you go back and click on, and it'll take you straight to the swim team registration page. You cannot find it just by going to programs from the MyRec website. You have to have that direct link. So that, again, that'll come out Friday. I'll email it out Friday morning. Yeah, with the registration opening at noon. No rush to get in. I mean, obviously, if you can take care of it Friday, I would take care of it, but it will open at noon, and then you have that full week to get registered before it opens to the general public, which is resident families first. That'll be April 18th to May 9th. And then we do open it to non-residents beginning April 25th, again through the 9th, and then it ends on the 9th as it relates to that. And that's, at that point, it becomes space available only.
All right. So Jennifer in the chat asked about the sibling piece. So any sibling that was not on the swim team last year will get to be able to register early with your other children. So yeah, great news. And we're going to work really hard this year not to split family members up. So I know last year that happened. And one thing with the wait list, it's usually our 9-10 age group that gets waitlisted first and heavily. And the reason why is because we had to, kind of have a safeguard there. Usually what happens is we see the other numbers, usually the older kids and stuff, it's not also at max level, then we'll be able to let people in, and hopefully everybody. Some key dates for the season to make note of. These will also be on our website. So we have these. The season duration will begin June 2nd. This is bolded because due to my travel schedule, I won't be in town the week after the week of Memorial Day. Those are usually our evening practices. So this year we will not be having those, and so we'll be starting a little bit later, just a few days. If anyone's ever experienced those evening practices, it can be pretty chaotic, and with the pool being open, usually it's kind of cold and windy, and a lot of stuff going on. I know my own children didn't have the best experience at those nights, and I don't think it's the best start to swimming if that's kind of your first practices. So it's not, I don't think it's a huge loss there, but we'll start Monday, June 2nd, with our morning practices only. That first Saturday, we will have our mock meet, and possibly a preseason event from our parent board. At this mock meet, we did it last year on the Tuesday evening. I wanted to do it on the weekend because the weekend was free, and it's a little, again, less crazy with the pool not being open. Those will most likely happen around 8 in the morning. We'll communicate later on or as we get closer. With this meet, just trying the meet out. This is for our swimmers and our parents. Parents get to try out volunteering for all the positions or any of the positions. We need parents to volunteer to make to keep the meet going or to start the meet. And it's just our team just having some fun, and trying some things out. This meet may count as, I need to kind of go back and think, as a meet for champs. We have this meet and our Ginny Nickel meet. I think we can count one of those meets for champs, and as long as you swim another league meet, I think that should be fine. July 4th, we have 4th of July parade, and our champs will be July 9th, and that'll be our season end. We are working on finding a date for our team banquet and end of season party. We also are planning on possibly having a pasta dinner the night before champs. All these things will be coming along as the year gets closer, as well as pitcher day and stuff like that. So this is just kind of the start of it.
Nick, real quick.
Yeah.
Someone asked, does the April 18th registration, which is the open registration for Bexley residents, that is not a special link. That will just be after the 17th on April 18th in the morning. We will open that live to the public site, and it will open at noon. So first thing that morning, I'll get it switched over to where you can see it. You won't be able to see that swim team registration link on my rec until the 18th. It will be there, and you can log in and register starting at noon. And then someone else asked about meets only option again, and I believe we do have that again if they are experienced swimmers.
Yeah, if your swimmer is swimming on a club team, there's a bunch in the area. We do offer the meet only option. And we encourage them to come to practice, when they can. We encourage once a week if possible, and try to get some of their buddies to join as well. One thing, our older age group is hurting for swimmers, and we, as a board, have talked about how to try to turn that around, because it's kind of our younger swimmers love to look up to those older swimmers, and we, as many as we can have, would be great, and kind of like the life of and blood of the swim community. If you guys know, I'm sure some of you do, the Bexley high school swim team rocking it year after year, and so we want these kids to kind of be excited to join that as they get older. Someone said maybe a dynasty, not sure. So here is our meet schedule. Again, it's on our website. We'll be posting as many places as we can. Our mock meet there is on Saturday. We will have there will be a meet like every Saturday. One thing I do want to talk about, I don't know if this is in here later in the presentation, but there's two types of meets. We have a dual meet, which you'll see be on Tuesdays, and developmental meets, which are on Saturdays. Swimmers most likely are not swimming in both meets during the week. Developmental meets are for our youngest swimmers and swimmers that are new to the sport. Again, kind of like the name says, like a developmental meet. Our 6-unders will be swimming in these meets, as well as most of our 7 and 8-year-olds could swim here, and anyone over the age of 12 cannot swim in these meets. We don't get a lot of 11, 12-year-olds swimming here. Another reason is because we have the dual meets on Tuesday nights. Our age groups, we have a limited number of swimmers we're allowed to put in some events. So if we kind of hit our maximum swimmers swimming, we're going to put our kind of our fastest swimmers in those events on Tuesday nights, and kind of developmental meets are left for swimmers who have not met a speed threshold. So not everyone can swim in developmental meets. Once you reach a certain speed or cutoff time, you're no longer allowed to swim in those meets. Hopefully we will get this better explained in writing as we get closer. And if you have any questions about the two different types of meets, let me know. Um, Developmental meets are kind of a invitational style. We have two this year, one in Grandview and one in Hilliard, and all four teams send their developmental swimmers to those meets in the mornings. Dual meets, as the name says, we'll only be swimming against one team on those evenings. So our first meet Tuesday is away at Swim and Racket, which is in Burlington. Then we have our developmental meet in Grandview. We'll host Hilliard June 17th. Saturday, June 21st, will be our Ginny Nickel meet, which is a home meet. It's a fundraiser meet for a previous coach and swimmer and Bexley alum, Ginny Nickel. That meet, everyone is invited to. We encourage anyone that can come to that. It's usually a lot of fun. We do a parent first coach relay at the end, as well as a lot of fun tube relays there. It's a good time. We host our second evening meet June 24th. Saturday, June 28th is a developmental meet at Hilliard. As you notice, all of our developmental meets and dual meets are all in June. So it's a really compact season. And as coaches, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, it's pretty full. League champs are July 9th, which I've said several times. Tuesday meets typically start at 4:30 with warm-ups. So try to keep that in mind for these away meets. The meet starts generally around 6. Our Saturday meets warm-ups start around 8, with the meet starting at 9 a.m. I'll turn this over to Adrian now.
Hey, folks. So we're going to talk a little bit about team communication. Coach Nick, feel free to help me out here if I miss anything. But there's a couple ways that we're going to be communicating back and forth with everyone. So we have a new team website. It's bexleymarlins.com. Coach and I are trying to get that updated. I think it's almost there. We'll get that updated soon. And so that's hosted by Team Unify, which may be familiar to those of you that have club swimmers, but this is like a all-included website communication system that's and actually a way for us to do our entries and things and for you to communicate back with us about things. So it's called Team Unify. There'll be event signups, volunteer signups, team communications through this. There's also information in the parent packet, which is located on our website. That has information about the team, meet logistics, all this information that we're going over tonight and more. And then once we get everybody registered and we know who's on our team, then we can begin sending out communications to everybody through Team Unify. So once you're registered and on the team, we'll begin sending directions so that you can get logged in and registered on Team Unify.
And I know we said it's a new website. If you're a returning family, it's the same as last year.
We'll do weekly emails, Facebook posts with updates, reminders, announcements. You can certainly email Coach and I at the email addresses that we have on the website that are provided. We don't check those every single day, so responses might be delayed on those. But certainly during the season, we're going to be checking them a little more regularly. Meet registration and volunteer assignments. Again, those are going to be on the email and on the website. And so what we'll need is for families, like 10 days before the meet to log in, make your commitment, and then certainly choose a volunteer assignment, which we're going to go over here in a minute. But once that commitment period is closed, right, any changes need to go through coach and that's really because things like entries need to be submitted and we need to get everything ready for the meet. But exceptional circumstances, let us know. Anything you want to add?
Kind of another change from previous years. I know that Coach Taylor used a couple other apps for kind of emergency communications, Remind or Team Snap. There's a couple. There is a Sports Engine app, which is actually linked to our website, and you use the same login information. It's actually, I think it's easier sometimes on the website to declare your swimmer for meets, to volunteer for job assignments through the app. Our most clubs teams use it, and I think on my end it's really easy as a swim parent. But we're able to send push notifications through the website. So instead of having you download an additional app just to get those kind of last minute communications of hey, there's storms coming in, we're canceling practice, or it's way too cold, or hey, the meet is delayed, we'll use that as well as email. So if you like having a push notification, having the app, it's not a requirement, but it is really helpful.
Sure. When you go to sign up, so to declare whether or not your swimmer is going to attend, this is what it's going to look like. So there'll be the sort of red button is the attend or decline button. So you'll hit that. And then the green button is for job signups. And that's going to take you to a page where you can select a job that you're willing to do. And so this just makes it easy for you to communicate back and forth to us whether or not your swimmer is going to be there. Again, all built in to our app. So again, the coaches and the board are your primary points of contact. Here's our emails. Coach Nick can be reached at bexleymarlin.coach@gmail.com. Please email him if your swimmer is going to miss practice, if you want to discuss your swimmer's progress, meet performance, anything to do, with the meet. If you have questions about wanting to join our board, if you have logistical questions, you can contact me at Bexley Marlins Swim Team. I'm happy to answer any questions, and you can always email me, and if it should go to Coach Nick, I'll forward it to him. So, and then if your swimmer is registered to swim in a meet but cannot attend, let's say they're sick or something comes up, please contact both of us and let us know.
And one thing with the missing practice, if your swimmer is just missing like one practice, you don't need to send an email. But if your swimmer is in a camp, for example, and they're going to miss a kind of a week, or you're going on vacation, that's nice to know, especially if it's a camp and they will miss practice but can do a meet, keeping that in mind. But if it's just a here and there practice, you don't need to communicate that. And maybe the swimmer could just let us know, like the practice before.
So we rely on parent volunteers to run these swim meets. We absolutely cannot do it without our parents joining us to time the races, to run the tickets, to manage the little ones in the bullpen. There's lots of different jobs. Some of them get you the best seat in the house for watching races. Others, you do computer entry or fill out ribbons, right? So there's all kinds of opportunities to help us out. We will provide training for every single one of these jobs. All of these jobs, except the officials, don't require any experience right? With swimming or previous, doing it in previous years, like we will train you ahead of time and actually right on the spot. We have, officials and referees that are there to help train timers and runners. And so we just need parents to say yes, right? And so we can't run the swim meet unless we have folks signed up. So every swim meet will have jobs, right? So if you have questions about these jobs, if you're not sure, if you want to know more information before you sign up, reach out to me, and I'm happy to help out, help you pick a job. We are actually looking for officials. So with the official job, it's a little bit, it requires a little bit of training before the season starts. The league is planning on doing a meeting for officials that are interested in the season. It's, I don't know, maybe a couple hours training. And then we also will offer on the spot training too for folks who may be unsure of the job. But we definitely need officials to keep the season running. And even though it does work, it's the only job that requires a little more training. It's still pretty low key. You don't need previous experience. You can learn how to do it. And it's fun to learn about the sport and to, again, be right there on deck with your kids as they're swimming. I really enjoy it. I do stroke and turn and really like it. So we just wanted to give you a sense of some of the jobs and some of the opportunities, and just a gentle nudge that we will be asking for every swim meet, because we can't run these without the parents. So this slide talks a little bit about the parent board and what we do. So we help organize the swim meets. Gosh, we help run the swim meets. We orchestrate communication between the coaches, the athletes, the league, the city of Bexley, and we host the swim season each year. We also do a lot of the fun things like the 4th of July parade and the end of season celebration. And so we are looking for parents that want to get involved really at any level. So if you have any interest in participating in the board, please email me, even if you just want to check it out and know more about what we do. We're looking for folks who want to help us out at any level. And again, you don't have to know a ton about swimming to participate. One of the things that helps us run our season and our team are our team sponsors. This year we already have 3 committed sponsors. So McCarthy Dental Group, Bexley Auto, and Swartz Tax and Insurance Agency have all pledged their support to us. Again, we use this money to put on the fun stuff, to purchase equipment that we need, new monitor if we need it one year, to purchase ribbons, to pay for our championship meets. So we're so grateful to these businesses that are supporting us. And actually all 3 of these businesses have supported us several years in a row. So we're really grateful. We recognize and promote our sponsors at every home swim meet, and actually every opportunity that we can to thank them and promote their businesses. Their logos go on the back of our team t-shirts, which all the kids get, and parents purchase shirts and again have the logos on the back. We also promote our teams on our sponsors on our website. So lots of opportunities to thank the folks that make our season run. We are still accepting sponsors this year up until May 1st to have your logo on the t-shirt. And so if your business or if you know of a business that may be willing to sponsor us this year, please email me. I can share all the information with you and get all of that out. We also accept family sponsors. So last year we had 3 families sponsor, and there's an option during registration. So when you go to register your swimmer, you can say that you want to be a family sponsor right there at registration. And so that's an option also. And so again, just please reach out to us if you have any questions or interest in this. We've got a couple sponsorship levels. So like our Olympic sponsors, they get corresponding benefits. There are main sponsors, and then it sort of goes from there. So just feel free to reach out with any questions. So I think now if Coach Nick, if you and Natalie have anything you want to add, or should we open up for questions?
No, I think I'm good from my end.
Yeah, same.
So do we want folks to unmute and ask, or type in the chat, do you think?
Maybe type in the chat, and then that way it's kind of recorded there too.
Sounds good. Anybody have anything that we haven't answered? Okay. Well, I guess if, oh, there's one.
Confirming existing families will get a link via email. Yes. Yes, that will be emailed out Friday morning. This coming Friday, April 11th in the morning. And it will be open, it'll open at noon. Is the 5 the minimum age, or can 4-year-old that can swim that distance participate?
That's a good question. I say register them, and we can definitely try it out. I know there's definitely kids of all various levels. The age group is actually like 6 and under. So if they can hang, and they can, have a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll say try it out. I don't think
Nick,
Adrian, I don't think our league has a rule.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think our registration is set to, they have to be 5 by June 1st. So if they
Okay.
turn 5 after that, the system won't let them
Okay.
register. So how do you want to, do you want people to, should they call in, or?
Yeah, so if you could, Jamie, if you could email Adrian and I, we can kind of guide you in the right direction, and maybe hook you up with Natalie. That does make sense, Natalie. That, like, because I know the age is like a part of registration.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we'll
That's
verify. I'll just spend the time tonight to verify, like, well, it's allowed. I'm pretty sure it is. If they're open.
if they're openings, we take them. Yes, that will open. It is April 25th, and obviously at that point it's just space available, because I would assume that most people have registered by then. And then Nick, do we know who the coaches are for each age group? Is the next question.
So I'm in the process now of interviewing and kind of screening our coaches. A lot of our previous coaches are coming back, which is great, and we'll have some new faces. At this time, I can't announce, just because it's not so final yet. But there will also be, with this year, not necessarily a 1 point person per age group, like previous years. So with camp. So if your swimmers at camp begins at 9, yes, leave early. Just communicate with us. If they need to get out early, just let the coaches know. It definitely happens, as we know. And there is a meet only option for swimmers at swim club. I think when you go to register, there's meet only, and it just asks you to provide the name of the club swimmer swims for.
And I believe we only have that age range is 9 to 18. So it is not a meet only option for U8 and under, only for
Correct.
U10 and above.
Yeah.
Do you have any opening?
Yeah. So on the Bexley Rec website, there is a job posting for some coaches. We do have quite a few applicants, and we're kind of filling up kind of our spot. But I do encourage anyone to apply. but we're getting closer to having everything solidified. So that's one area that we do have a lot of interest already.
I just added the website is bexley.org/recjobs, and then you can scroll down and find swim team coach from there.
Yeah, Courtney, so I didn't say this. I do plan on being at the varsity and JV coaching at both practices. I'll be on deck the whole time as the head coach. So that's kind of why like the age group pieces aren't needed for like previous years. And I'll talk more with my coaches and how that's going to look kind of before I kind of communicate it out, which won't be too. It's not going to be a big shift or a big change. And one thing, just kind of talk about junior coaches. Our junior coaches are usually swimmers on the swim team that want to help out, and they get in the water with the swimmers and kind of help them along. Are able to kind of manipulate their legs on getting learn that breaststroke kick. It's definitely a valuable asset.
Any other questions? Go ahead and type them in. Okay, do you want to
Yeah.
plan to wrap up?
Well,
We will
yeah.
we'll post this on the MyRec page, and I believe you guys are going to post it on your website as well.
Yeah, and the registration link will come both from the rec, and we will send one out as well through our communication. So hopefully, you won't miss it. But thanks for joining us tonight. I'm looking forward to a great season and meeting everyone. See you in June.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.